Made it. We're at the Mount Morgan trailhead, although it made us park across the street. But we are gonna do the Mount Morgan, Mount Percival loop. I think it's around 5.5 miles with caves and ladders. Good morning. It is the first nice sunny Saturday in New England in weeks. Although we did have an okay day the other day, but it did rain some. But today it's not supposed to rain at all. So we are in New Hampshire, like doing Mount Morgan and Percival Loop, which I said they're on the 52 with a view New Hampshire list, and I'm pretty excited. This is supposed to be about, according to All Trails, so you know how that is, but 5.5 miles with, what was it, 22 feet of elevation gain?
Yes.
Yeah, steep in spots, so we'll see. But the cool thing is, I know we have to crawl through some caves, and there's some really cool ladders. So this has been on my list for a while, and I'm excited. Although, I did forget to check which way was better, clockwise or counterclockwise. So, we just took a chance and went counterclockwise. Don't know, I'd prefer to go up the ladder than down, but it's gonna be what it is. So, because I don't know. I can't remember which way is which. Alright, here's the sign. We just rounded the corner, and I thought we were going to go right, but according to the sign, we're going to the left. So we're going this way. We're going up the stairs. Alright, we are still climbing some little bit of rocks. At this point, let's see, 1,096 feet of elevation gain, 2.14 miles, an hour and 25 minutes. All right, less than 500 feet to go. Well, of elevation gain. Made it to the split. Mount Percival summit via the caves. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, via the caves is 0.1 to the left, and via the cliffs is 0.1 to the right. I think we're gonna do the caves. So, because I wanted to see what both ways was like, we decided to go different ways. Matt's gonna film going the cliffs, and I'm gonna film going the caves. That's the plan right now. We'll see how it works out. I don't mind caves. He has a big camera and stuff, so he doesn't wanna, I know it's a tight squeeze, apparently you crawl around, so he didn't wanna do that with his big camera. So, oh, there's the arrow. For a second, I wasn't sure which way to go. There's the arrow. Yet to figure out I put my pack in there because it's not going to work with my pack on. Had to get up and in there, so it's going to take me a second. Pretty cool though. I had to back through because I couldn't turn around and climb in. Alright, and now I gotta turn around and stand back up. Alright, I'm up, and the next little set is going to go down there and then through there. Oh, that's a tight squeeze. I'll see if I can do it. Definitely gonna take the pack off. Well, that's where I've come from. That's the last of it, I think. I did it. But that was not easy. It took some upper body strength. Apparently I need to work on that. Alright. And now we're heading this way. Actually, okay. This part after the cave was more sketchy than the cave. But trying to figure out where to go. Looks like we're going. I'm going up through here. Looks more like scrambling now than caves, so shouldn't be quite as bad. Alright, made it to a nice little lookout. There's a little sketchy section coming up here though. And Matt came down to meet me. So now we're gonna keep going. We're close to the top now.
So since I'm not good at underground because I'm not a dwarf, sorry Gimli, I'm gonna take the cliff side. She's taking the cave side. Plus I have this camera and I don't want to take off my pack and shove everything through and ruin stuff. So we're gonna go this way and then split the difference on the video, as you will see. I'm not gonna get an FKT going up here, but it should be fun. Supposedly there's a snake that inhabits these here parts. So hopefully we'll get to see him. And hopefully he'll stay still long enough, or she, to get a picture. On the other side. It's beautiful so far. Let's go see what other amazing things we can find. Yeah, like look at that. I mean, who gets to see that, right? Whoops. That was close. And that completes your 190 times 2 for the day, kids.
So you should tell them when you come up from the caves.
Beautiful. Mount Percival, 2212. 0.8 to Morgan. We're on our way to Mount Morgan. It was 0.8 from the summit of Mount Percival. No idea how far we've come. 0.3 maybe? Probably another half mile. Or so, or ish. But it's not too steep between them, so a little bit of tiny ups and downs, nothing major.
It's not too steep. I repeat, it's not too steep. Mount Morgan's not full of the trail, but it's not too steep.
Time to compare notes. I went up the cave section. There's some sketchy bits. The caves themselves were pretty narrow, not too sketchy. Just kind of had to go head first and kind of use your arms to scoot yourself out. But there's a bunch of like gaps after that you had to figure your way around. So that was a little bit sketchy, not terrible, but. And then there was one part at the towards the end of it, Matt came down and helped me up a little bit because it was really narrow and I couldn't quite adjust my body to do it, but I figured it out. So that's how that section was. And we have not watched each other's footage yet, so it'll be interesting to see. How about you? How was yours?
It was good. It was a pretty easy climb. There's a couple sections where I'm glad I wasn't filming because I started slipping and then felt like an idiot because I would have fallen like 30 feet. But, no, it was a nice climb. Really nice views. Probably better views from where I was than in a deep dark cave somewhere. But yeah.
The caves were fun, but
5 stars. Definitely climb again.
all right, I wouldn't go down through the caves for sure. So
No, and I don't go through caves anymore.
so there you have it. That's our opinion, and we'll see what each other's footage looks like at some point later.
Caves are for dwarves. Columns and smogs.
Follow the blaze around the corner. Here we go. Right, we made it. Mount Morgan is 0.1 this way, and I guess that's the way to the ladders too. So that's the way we're going. Here's the survey marker at the top of Mount Morgan. And here's what the top looks like. But there is a view just right down the trail a little. But we had to come tag the top, and then we'll go to the view.
What? We took pictures of the mountain.
Right, made it to the top of Mount Morgan. There's some really beautiful views from the lookout, and now we're kind of on the way down the little sketchy bit. So probably won't film too much going down until we get to a less sketchy bit. But there's some ladders, and I would definitely want to show you that. Although we have to go down them. That's a bummer.
And it's wet on this end.
Okay. All right, going through another cave. Matt's already through.
Yeah.
He's mad. He doesn't like caves. All right, hang on. I'm gonna go. All right, so I'm on one ladder. Gonna go to that ladder. And Matt's down there. So I gotta turn around. All right, here I am on this ladder. Had to kind of scooch down. Gotta switch over and then go down that way. All right. I came from up there. That's where it came from. All right, so we made it to where you can decide which way to go and not do the ladders. You can go that way, but we did the ladders, and now I think we would go down over here, no?
Go down there.
Yeah. All right. All right, that's the ladder we climbed. Next signage. 1.6 to Moose Trail, or I guess 1.5 to the trail, but it says 1.6 to the road, and we have to cross the road, so it's about a mile and a half. It is such a beautiful day. So, wanted to do these two mountains because they are on the 52 with a view list, and I've been kind of knocking off some of those along the way, and some 4,000 footers. There's another list called the Terrifying 25, and I hadn't really looked at it yet because there's so many laps on the 2 lists that I already started, plus I'm working on the AT. So I hadn't really looked too much at that list yet. I figured in the future I'd look at it. But I just found out from several hikers that Morgan and Percival are both on that list, so I've already knocked a couple off. Who knew? Matt's thrilled that I found another list that we can complete, right?
Yeah. Overjoyed would be the word I use.
We're definitely at the easy part now. We're making our way. We probably have about a half mile left to the car. And it's a little bit more easy to go quick right now than it was. Some fantastic views up there, man. So if I ever did this trail again, which we might, you never know, but there's so many to do. But if I ever did it again, I would go up Morgan, and so I could go up the ladders instead of down. And I would go down Percival on the cliff side. I don't think I'd want to go down through the caves. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad I did them. I'm glad I came up the caves. There's a few sketchy bits, but I don't think I'd want to go down that way. What do you think? What would you, if you did it again, which way would you go?
That'd be the way I'd go, what you just said.
Yeah.
Coming down the ladders was fun, but
Going up would be
that fun.
going up would be more fun.
Definitely. Less chance of death.
Yeah. All right, we made it back to the cutoff where we turned from Mount Percival and came down Mount Morgan, and now we're pretty close to the car. All right, let's see. 5.41 miles, 1496 elevation gain, and just over 5 hours. It was actually slower coming down than going up. We made it back to the car, and what a beautiful hike. It was really good. Really fun. I liked the ladders and the scrambles. Again, I'd say do it the opposite direction, do it clockwise, right?
Yes.
We went counterclockwise, but obviously it can be done counterclockwise too. So the views were phenomenal. And it's pretty crowded now, lots of people, but there's mountains on both sides of the road, so I'm not sure what this one is here, but we went Morgan Percival. So thank you all so much for following along. We had a fantastic time. Hope you enjoyed the views, and we'll see you in the next video.